Welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Very happy to be here with you and honored and privileged post draft. Now, I'm supposed to be on vacation, so that's why you see me wearing the Pluto digs here, but I couldn't pass up the opportunity, like I told him off the air, to have Andre Szmyt on the show coming off of his signing with the Chicago Bears. So very excited to talk about a lot of great things. The Lou Groza Award winner, the only kicker in Syracuse history to win this award, with so many great kickers coming through the history at Syracuse: Gary Anderson, Alindo Mare, Nate Trout, and so on and so forth. Cole Murphy and Andre on this list as well. So happy to have him here. Happy that he's a Chicago Bear. Sir, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. What do you think of the shirt? Are you a fan of Pluto? Do you like Disney? Do you hate Disney? Where you at?
I like it. I haven't been in a while, but it's cool.
All right, yeah, you definitely got to go back. So I'll try and have some fun down here for you. So you went back home, and not too far away are the Chicago Bears. So what did that mean to you that of all teams to work out a contract with, it was Chicago?
Yeah, it means a lot to me. Obviously, being from the area, I mean, I live maybe 13 minutes away from Hallis Hall. So, during the draft, obviously it was kind of a stressful time, but getting that call from my agent that they're going to go ahead and do the deal with the Chicago Bears once the draft's over. Obviously I was super excited. My family was excited, and yeah, I'm just ready to get rolling.
So did you know about so like you said, talking with your agent, did your agent tell you, like, hey, like before the draft was even over, that this is what's going to happen?
Yeah, so I got a call like during like the sixth round, I believe, that they were going to go ahead and do the deal with the Bears, and obviously I could have still gotten drafted, and
Yeah.
then that's kind of how it went. But you know, obviously went through the draft and ended up signing with the Bears.
Did your agent say anything to you about, the undrafted free agent versus getting drafted on the third day? Did you guys talk about that at all?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, regardless of where you kind of get drafted, you're always going to be kind of in a competition. So,
Right.
I was grateful and happy for any opportunity, and luckily it's one that's close to home.
Yeah, and like you said, like 13 minutes away from certain parts of, obviously the Chicago Bears connection, their campground, so to speak, their headquarters. I mean, you're in Vernon Hills, Illinois. So to be so close by to the Chicago Bears, did you grow up a Bears fan?
Yeah, I did grow up a Bears fan.
So I mean, this for you has got to have an even sweeter of a feel. Like, when is your earliest memory of becoming a Chicago Bears fan?
This is actually funny. In middle school, we used to sing the Bears fight song
Okay.
every single day at lunch.
Okay.
So, I mean, going back all the way to like middle school, I mean, obviously I grew up playing soccer, but that was kind of my first exposure to like Chicago Bears. I've never been to a Bears game. I've never been to any NFL game. Yeah, I've never been to any NFL games. So, I mean, hopefully my first one will be what I'm playing in.
Yeah, and it's crazy, man. When you look at Vernon Hills, Illinois, it has you 40 minutes away from Soldier Field. So, like you said, you've never been to a game, but it's under an hour away. I mean, this is incredible for you and the opportunity. And if and when, and let's put some good positive call it into action into the air, when you make this team, your family, if this is to happen, when this is to happen, they're going to be 40 minutes away from coming to see you play.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great. Obviously, like I said, they're super pumped about it. They traveled to every single one of my games last season with Syracuse, so I mean it'll definitely be easier this year.
Yeah, and what did that mean to you? The fact that they went to your games, this past season, like you said, every single one of your games, you play all over, up and down the Atlantic coast, and obviously Syracuse, New York is no easy trek from Illinois. So just what it means to you that your family's been so devout and coming out to all of these games wherever you are.
Yeah, I mean it means a lot to me. I've They've been supporting me ever since I made the switch from soccer over to football. I mean, taking me to Syracuse, my first time going there, moving in during fall camp, helping me move in. I mean, helping me move out of places that I've lived up in Syracuse. So, I mean, they're my role models, and I look up to them so much, and they've helped me so much throughout the journey.
Andre Szmyt here with me on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, celebrating his undrafted free agent signing with the Chicago Bears. Getting that call, like you said, from your agent during the draft and saying, "Hey, we're going to do this deal with Chicago." Did he tell you that he had gotten other teams that had called him up and that was just the best one? I mean, how did you kind of sift through it? Was Chicago the call and he was like, "Hey, this is the deal we're taking," or were there other potential teams out there, potential suitors?
Yeah, I mean, we talked to teams before the draft. Obviously, I went to the Shrine Game, talked to a bunch of teams there, and obviously we had a lot of guys at the pro day, a lot of teams. So I mean, I spoke to guys there, and obviously leading up to the draft. But come day three of the draft, we got a couple calls, but Chicago was one of the places I wanted to be and wanted to go. So when that kind of came through, and they were like, "Hey, yeah, we're interested in signing," I mean, my agent jumped on it as fast as he could, and got the paperwork done, and I couldn't be happier.
They say that going through this, obviously you have to do your work and you have to, answer questions in a way that obviously speaks to them, right? So you got to answer questions a certain way. You got to do good things on film, and when they work you out or they come and see you at pro day and like you said, the Shrine Game and whatnot, there's opportunities for you to showcase yourself. But the other part of it too is having the right agent, the agent that knows the deal to take. So just what it means to you to have the agent that you have.
Oh yeah, I mean, my agent's done a fantastic job. But I actually met him right before I went to the bowl game, so we had Christmas off. So I went to Baltimore to visit my sister,
Yeah.
and the agency's out of Baltimore. So on one of the days, I think it was might have been the day after Christmas. I drove up, met him. I knew he was a stand-up guy the day I met him, and we were in contact way before that too. So obviously he helped me a ton throughout this process, and I can't give enough thanks to him as well.
I want to give him a shout out. So shout him out. And I also went, how did you get connected to him in the first place?
Yeah, so I actually have a marketing representative as well. So he kind of reached out to me first, put me in contact with the agent at this firm, and then, like I said, I met him over like around Christmas break, and the rest is kind of history.
Now, do you want to give him a shout out or you want to
Yeah,
keep
of course.
it?
Dan Saffron, appreciate you getting me this deal done.
Yeah, yeah. So you got, so when he called you and he said it's going to be Chicago, what went through your body at that point?
I was super excited. I took the call outside when I saw him calling, and I was hoping he had good news to share. And when I came back in, I kind of told my family, "Hey, I'm staying home." So they were super pumped. We kind of had an idea. I went to the Bears local day
Okay.
here. It was a couple weeks after our pro day, so that was a cool experience. Being at Hallis Hall and being right down the street, and everybody kind of knew I was, hey, like kind of the hometown kid. I did an interview with one of the local journalists there too. So yeah, I mean, it was crazy getting the call, knowing that, hey, like I'm going to be back in Chicago. So yeah, they were super, super pumped about it.
And Santos obviously being that kicker that they've had on the recent roster, but there's nobody behind him. There's opportunity there. What do you want the Bears to know about what you're bringing to the table?
I'm going to give it all I got. Obviously I'm not shy to competition, and I've done it before at Syracuse, being a walk on. Obviously I wasn't drafted, so that just goes to show that teams probably doubted my skills. So being able to show out for the one team that kind of had faith in me is something I'm going to do.
I got to ask you this: the helmets that you have behind you, how can you make one leave Syracuse and make it to my studio?
I can call somebody at Syracuse to maybe get you get you a different one, but these ones kind of hold a special place in my heart. The orange one is the one I wore at the Shrine Game, so I have a couple stickers from there, as well as other stickers from other teammates that were other players that played from their college teams.
So the orange one's from the Shrine Game. The white one signifies what?
Uh, just a whale, man.
Okay, fair enough. Because you said there's special meanings. So the orange one, you got a bunch of footballs behind you too from Syracuse. What are the meanings of the ones that we're seeing here?
Yeah, so the white ones are all special teams MVPs, and then the bottom right one, I believe, is the field goal I kicked to become the all-time leading scorer, and then this ball is the to have the most field goals in school history, and then obviously this is the Lou Groza Trophy.
So behind you, you're a young kid, yet you have all of these memories, an entire case there already just from college. The Lou Groza Award to you means what? Knowing, like I said before, so many great kickers in Syracuse history, yet none of them have ever been considered the nation's greatest kicker in a season. So just what that means to you when you look at that trophy.
Yeah, I mean, it means so much to me. I think all those guys that you kind of mentioned at the beginning of this interview, they're all well deserving of one, and I'm honored to be named one of the many, or one of the few, I guess, Lou Groza winners throughout history, and to be a part of that, so to say, fraternity. I mean, is truly special.
To be a special teams player and to have a bunch of those white footballs behind you that signify an MVP, just what that means to you, that you have had the honor of being named an MVP not once, not twice, but multiple times by Syracuse.
Yeah, it means a lot to me too. I mean, all those games were either game winners or games where I had 4+ field goals, and to be able to help my team win, and to me, winning is the most important thing, and to be able to do that was truly special throughout my time at Syracuse.
The kick that made you the all-time leading scorer, you had to pass one of my close friends in Nate Trout. And so when you became the all-time leading scorer, just bring me to that moment. That football, like you said, rests behind you, and this great memory rests right behind you as well. There's no one in Syracuse history on offense, defense, or special teams that has ever scored more points than Andre Szmyt. What does that mean?
It's crazy. I can't really, I think, fully wrap my head around it. I mean, maybe one day when I look back at the record books and see that, I'll truly kind of understand it. But like I said, like during your time at Syracuse, I just had family over, and I kind of showed them the whole shrine, so to speak, back here, and kind of explaining to them each one of the game balls and what game it was, and my jerseys and my All American plaques. Kind of was the first time I really kind of was able to take it all in once I kind of graduated Syracuse and stopped playing there, to finally wrap my head around kind of the accomplishments I had there, and all the good memories I had.
Most field goals in team history. Yet
Yeah,
another, yet another, thing on top of it here. I mean, the Chicago Bears are getting a winner of 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 a winner. I mean, you've done so much in Syracuse history, and I mean, consistency has been key. So I want to go to, after you won the Lou Groza Award, you had that season in between the Lou Groza season and this past season where people, because you and I built a relationship, so people come to me and say, hey, what was happening? Was it a mental thing? What was going into it? When you reflect on that, if Chicago comes to you and says, hey, we've seen everything that you've done and all the successes you've had, but there was a moment of adversity, which we all have. What was that adversity like for you, and what was going on then?
yeah. I mean, I think it's good that I faced my adversity when I did, honestly, and I spoke about it a lot when I was at the Shrine Game meeting with a bunch of scouts. Is it kind of, you have to figure out how to deal with it and how to overcome it and how to prevent it from happening in the future. So before, when I was playing, I never felt or never dealt with any adversity. I feel like it was almost effortless to just put the ball through the uprights. And when you have a season like that where not everything goes your way, you figure out what it takes and what needs to be done in order for that to not happen again. I think I learned from it and came back this year, and then I think I definitely wrote the wrong from the past season.
What was it? What was it? Was it mental? Like you said, I mean, you had been doing it for so long that you felt like it was easy. I mean, what do you think you can attribute to what happened?
Yeah, I think it was just hard for it to click, with losing my special teams coordinator, going to Vanderbilt. Not having a special teams coordinator on staff was definitely tough. There was no real guidance there, and you know, just seems like things weren't really clicking how they usually were, and how they always been. So, I mean, trying to figure that out, and then coming back, making the adjustments the next year, and then being able to come back from that is definitely huge for any position and any player.
And you said it, Andre, the fact that you had a special teams coordinator in Justin Lustig, and when he left, he wasn't replaced for that entire season. A season where Syracuse, I think, had struggles on special teams everywhere, struggles in the return game, struggles in punting and in kicking. How does a team go a season without a special teams coordinator? There's three phases of the game. I can't imagine a team going without an offense or a defensive coordinator, but not having a special teams coordinator, everybody blames the players. But I watched Blake Bortles have multiple quarterback coaches at Jacksonville, and he struggled there. Eric Dungy, I think, had 4 quarterback coaches in 4 years at Syracuse. We've seen those changes. It happened with Tommy DeVito. And we always look at the player, but we don't look at the leadership. With you having to go an entire season without a special teams coordinator, was there anybody overseeing you guys, or were you essentially your own coach?
We were essentially our own coach, but it's a little bit different because we've always kind of policed ourselves in the specialist room. Even going back to my freshman year, we had Cole there, we had Sterling, we had Nolan, and all the older guys kind of policed the younger guys. And I think that year too, losing Nolan, who was a special teams captain, was huge. Then it kind of fell on me and Aaron to kind of be the leaders, and without any higher up. So this is the first time where I'm kind of stepped into a leadership role, and I have no coach to kind of look up to and help me like guide these younger guys and guide the unit also. So it was tough, yeah, and well, I wish we could have done better, but it is what it is, and it's in the past, and we look forward and try to live in the present.
So this past season, Coach Lig comes in, Bob Ligashevsky. What did you take away from him, and how did you learn from him?
Yeah, he had a lot of NFL expertise to bring, and it was huge. He's coached many specialists in the NFL, and you could tell he has that NFL experience behind him, and kind of the attitude and everything he brings to practice. He really trained me, taught me how to become like a pro, and I'm super grateful that staff brought him in, because if I didn't have that leadership that I now saw in Lig again, just like how I saw in Coach Lustig, I don't know if I'd be in the position I'm in now. But yeah, he came in, helped us out a lot, and like I said, helped me be in this position now.
And you said that there was those things that you tweaked from last season to this past season. What are some of those things that you worked on that you can really look back upon in the 2022 season and say, yeah, you know what, I did this, or I changed this up, or I shifted this? I mean, what were some of the things that you were doing, those little tiny nuances? Because I find it hilarious that people go, well, you just kick a ball. And it's so much more than that. So what are the tiny things that you did to get better this past season?
Yeah, so I think kicking is kind of an interesting kind of specialty.
Yeah.
It's almost like golf. It's not going to be the same, and it's not going to be the same for everybody. The swing, and you can't just always force the swing. If you've gotten stronger, you can't have the same backswing like you did. Things will change, and throughout my career, I've kind of developed and adjusted my form, and kind of going back to that 2022 season, or 2021, whichever one was 2 years ago.
Right.
Uh, it's like overlaps years, but going back 2 years, like you could just tell that I was a little bit, and it's kind of going into the kicking a lot, but so much closer to the ball, felt almost a little bit jammed up. I think obviously that kind of plays a little bit of a factor to not feeling as confident kicking then. So kind of going back, watching film with Coach Lig, and just moving my approach back a little bit, kind of got me a little bit more power into my kicks. And what I did this past season, I haven't changed at all, and I'm just kind of transitioning that into the next phase of the game, into the next level. And it's been working for me good. I feel comfortable, I feel confident, and just gonna keep rolling with it.
Yeah, I mean, and a perfect 40 for 40 on PATs. I mean, That's got to be something else to talk about here. It's nice when you see 100% as well. I mean, just when and that being this past season, when you reflect on your career at Syracuse, do you have a favorite kick or two, a favorite moment or two that happened on the field?
It's hard. There are a lot of moments, but yeah, I think hitting the game winner against Liberty was definitely a big moment for me. It was my only last second walk off field goal that I had, and that was pretty special with everybody storming the field or players storming the field and kind of tackling me. I'm on the bottom of the pile, but then also like the game this past year against Virginia, where I had 5 field goals, tied for the most in a game in Syracuse history, I believe, and also kind of came out to be a game-winning field goal in the end, but obviously not a last-second one. But that game was also pretty memorable.
Andre, before I let you go, when you go and you work out with the Chicago Bears, you are working out with the Chicago Bears as a Chicago Bear. And at the same time, you're working out for 31 other NFL franchises. What should they know about you beyond what we've already spoken about? What's something else that you would love a general manager to know about Andre Szmyt if they say, hey, we had 10 kickers call us today. We've had all these guys come through. What makes you different? If I'm sitting down with you and I'm saying, okay, you can kick it from 40. Okay, you can make one, you can make a few from 50. I saw this film. I saw that. We hear about all the awards, but I need to know something else, Andre. I need to know something that makes you special. What do you tell me?
I'm hardworking. I'm mentally tough, and you're gonna know what you're gonna get from me. I think that's huge. Is they don't want to see a kicker who's gonna be up and down, whether it's emotions or kicking days. Have a good day, bad day. You're gonna get a consistent guy with me. Personality wise, kicking wise, emotional wise, everything. I'm always in a good mood. I'm always smiling. I always work hard, and I always give it everything I got. So I think those are the good qualities to have, and I think I bring those to the table.
You said mentally tough, and you and I have talked about this before, that you can't even hear the noise of what's going. I mean, is it still like that for you? Is it still kind of muffled, whether you're home or away? Do you hear anything? Or when you step up to the ball and you walk backward and you breathe, are you only hearing your breath?
Yeah, so it's interesting. Every you feel different for every kick. I mean, to say that an extra point in like the first quarter feels the same as like one of those game winners that I talked about I've had, it's they're uncomparable. Sometimes it's we just scored a big touchdown, a big play, or a pick six, and we're excited, and I'm excited going out for the extra point, and it feels like almost like a tap in where it's like, or then you kind of go to the other side of the story where it's 30 seconds left and it's the end of the game, and you're kicking that, and everybody's coming up to you and is like, hey, you got this, I believe in you. It feels different. But when you're out on that field and you cross the white lines and you step on the field, the only thing that matters is what you're going to do in order to put the ball through the uprights. So whether you're nervous, like scared, excited, all that matters, I think it's important not to suppress how you're feeling. I think it's good to acknowledge how you're feeling, but then focus on the things that are going to do to help put the ball between the uprights. And to me, that it could be different throughout the week, but going into that week, tempo, smooth tempo, good contact, keep your head down, whatever it may be, those are what's going to help put the ball through the uprights, not suppressing your fear, or your fear is going to, or your excitement's not going to put the ball through the uprights. It's those thoughts that you keep reminding yourself, and that's kind of what tones out all the other sound.
So like you said, your fear's definitely not going to put it through. Your excitement's not going to be put it through. So it's controlling your emotions, staying mentally tough, focusing on the task at hand, and just kind of walking yourself through it. I mean, you're a human being. Like you said, the beginning of the game tap in is different than we need this field goal to win the game with 2 seconds left. But I love what you said, that the two ends of the spectrum, neither one of them is going to help you. Fear doesn't help you. Excitement doesn't help you. you have to just go up there and focus and do your job. Why are you so mentally tough? How did you get that way? Because there's people 40, 50, 60 years old that still struggle with mental toughness in life in general. How are you mentally tough?
I think it's a gift, honestly. But another side of it is just focus. I can become so focused that I almost black out and forget everything that happens. And in the time where I'm jogging out onto the field and taking my walk off and then kicking the ball and even the ball going through the uprights, I'm so focused on my steps and I'm so meticulous with how I take them and how I strike the ball and everything and just watching the snap. And if it's not exactly how I'm used to it, then making the adjustments is almost second nature because you do it so much that you know what to do in order to adjust. And luckily, I've been gifted with not freaking out in those situations and just knowing what to do in order to, like I said, just put the ball between the uprights.
You've played in a dome for half the season for many years. Outside, the elements get into it, and you played in the elements as well. How have you kind of taught yourself to adjust and be able to play in a dome type atmosphere, which some stadiums are able to close and put you in that arena? And then there's other stadiums like Soldier Field that it might be snowing, raining, 30-mile-an-hour winds, and you got to kick that ball. So, how have you become a chameleon with different situations when the elements are involved and when they're not?
Yeah, I think how you said it, like just when I was in high school, there are no domes around here, so I've been used to kicking out here from when I first started kicking a football, and like you said, we don't play in the friendliest environments when we're away, especially later on in the season. I mean, Boston College, we played a couple last games there in my career, and obviously playing at Heinz Field is known to be one of the toughest places to kick in the NFL, and that's so happens to be where my career long was, and now tied for my career long. But yeah, I mean, just always being in the elements, and we practice outside all the time during training camp, and just being able to play the wind and understand it, and it doesn't really change anything other than kind of just where you line it up. Maybe if it's a heavy stiff wind, you kind of like golf, knock club down, maybe hit it through the wind, a little stinger or whatnot. But yeah, you just kind of it's like golf. I treat it like golf. My swing is going to be different here, different there. You can make the adjustments in order to know what to do. I'm a very feel kicker, not very mechanical. I'm more of like I have touch to it, and finesse, so to speak.
Yeah, I love that you compared it to that your foot and your leg are essentially a golf swing. It's like the head of the club and then, the actual, full club itself. So I love that. We're going to play rapid fire here to end things out with Andre Szmyt, who has signed on as an undrafted free agent with the Chicago Bears. Really quick, let everybody know what's the timetable before we jump into rapid fire
What do you mean?
for you to head over to Chicago for the Bears.
Oh, yeah, mini camp starts Thursday.
Yeah. So, like, very, very quick. We're going to see this happening. So, let's play some rapid fire. I know when it comes to combines and pro days and the Shrine Game and all this stuff, you get asked a bunch of different questions. So, I have nothing prepared. You don't know anything that's coming. I'm just going to throw stuff at you. I want your first answer. Okay.
Sounds good.
You're coming out onto the field. You're coming out to Soldier Field. It's the beginning of December. It's snowing. If you could play any song in your head to kick a field before you kick a field goal with 3 seconds to go, what song would describe Andre Szmyt?
Oh, wow. I don't know. No, I don't know. For some reason, the first thought was "Don't Stop Believing."
All right. By Journey. I like it.
Yeah.
It's a good song. One of my favorites. Okay. Favorite movie to calm you down? Like, do you have a movie that you could just watch on repeat?
I honestly don't like rewatching movies. I like the excitement of being able to watch it for the first time, but that's tough.
Do you
I
have
don't know.
do you have a favorite movie?
Uh, Fight Club.
Fight Club? All right.
Yeah.
So see, I'm like you in the sense of when I find out the twist in a movie, I can't watch it again because I know the twist.
Right.
Like
I mean,
I can't watch Righteous Kill with Pacino and De Niro because I know what the twist was, and the twist got me. That like if I watch it again, it's not going to be the same.
yeah, watching that was like, wow, at the end. So I mean that's I love that about those kind of like thriller type movies.
Okay, let me throw another one at you. One meal that you could eat for the rest of your life, and why?
No, any of my mom's home cooking.
Okay, any of your mom's home cooking. Fair enough. If a kid came up to you today and you were signing an autograph at Soldier Field, and the dad looked at you and said, "Hey, my son's watched you play. You know, he watched this whole team play. He loves the Bears. He's always loved the Bears. Give him a piece of advice." And let's say the kid's 14 years old. What do you say to him for advice?
Don't stop loving what you do. I mean, it's easy to kind of make it feel like a job and more than more than what it is. And I say keep loving it, keep having fun, because I think it was like Jordan who said it, or I'm not sure who said it, but when I stop loving the game, like that I'm going to be done with it. And I kind of agree with that. If it becomes like a chore to do, then you're not going to like doing it.
Same thing that Syracuse Orange alum Rob Drummond said when he retired from playing professional football after over a decade. So I can respect that. Best of any mentor in your life, which one sticks out the most, and what piece of advice sticks out?
John Carney, he's kicked so many years in the NFL, and that I went out there to do my draft prep, and the experience that he has and the knowledge that he brings to the table is second to none. And I think he's helped me a tremendous amount, just being ready for what a I didn't go to the NFL combine, but I did go to another specialist combine, and kind of to know what to do in those situations, and know what to do at the Shrine game, and know what to do at pro day, and how to handle all these situations and local workouts. Is He's helped me so much that you know I got to tip my hat to him as well.
Last one here. You're in a situation where you could do the wrong thing and never get caught and benefit from it, or you could do the right thing and go through adversity. What do you do?
Do the right thing.
Why?
I couldn't live with the fact that I know I did the wrong thing.
Even if you benefited from it.
Yeah,
So
I
that's,
couldn't.
I mean, to me that no, I mean it's I call it the Captain America complex, right? If you walk by an alley and you see somebody get attacked, do you just keep walking because you don't know them, or do you try and help them, knowing that? I mean, to me, I would think about it for the rest of my life. I would think, what happened to that person?
Right. I mean, yeah, putting it like that, of course, always help. I mean, I'm a believer in God, and you know, doing the wrong thing. It doesn't matter if it helps my kicking career. You know, to me, there's so much more to life than playing football as well. So I mean, depends on how wrong the wrong thing is, but I mean, generally speaking, yeah, no, I don't think I could do the wrong thing.
And I got to throw a bonus one because you and I both have a strong belief in God. How would you describe God to someone who doesn't know God?
A best friend, someone you can always rely on. You know, someone who's always going to be there no matter what. Um, I mean, it's hard to even put it in words. I mean, uh, yeah.
A best friend. Well, I like that. That coming from Andre Szmyt here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, heading to the Chicago Bears right down the road from where this young man grew up. So very excited for you, Andre. I can't believe that you're already done at Syracuse. Makes me feel like I'm 115 years old, but I'm a young man. You're a young man. Vernon Hills, Illinois, your product, Andre Szmyt, coming out to the Chicago Bears and having an opportunity to showcase himself and what he can do to the entire NFL. Andre, I can't thank you enough for all the time that you've spent over the years with me. You've always been good to me, and you treated me like I stood out from the crowd. And when you make people feel that way, it says a lot about your character. It says a lot about who you are, because you always made me feel special. So hopefully you feel that way, and that's mutual. And I hope that you know that everything that you do from here on out, I'm always positively in your corner, and I can't wait to see you make it and continue forward. And so I can get a jersey that's going to be hanging in my I got a wall of fame for all my guys. So I'm going to need an Andre Szmyt piece to that wall of fame. And if anybody's going to do it, I know you can.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. It really does mean a lot to me.